If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many, many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So don't forget to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey, what's up? I am Tony Making Food Mata, and this is just a little Tony talk, a modified view in the culinary industry. As always, I am simulcasting on my podcast through Anchor, which is Anchor Tony Talk, a modified view in the culinary industry, and through my YouTube channel, which is YouTube Modified Cooking, MATTAFID Cooking, and you type that into Google or into YouTube, and a picture of me in a chef hat comes on. So today we're about in the season. We're in about episode 5, if you will, of season 2. We've been getting pretty controversial with some things, but today we're kind of like talk about burning bridges, and why it's good not to burn bridges, or sometimes why you just throw the match on it and watch it fucking burn. Yeah, you really shouldn't do that. So, burning bridges in the culinary industry. So, in this area, in Detroit, the culinary industry is pretty close-knit, or it's somebody knows somebody, things like that. So, if you were to leave a job, it would probably be a good idea to leave the job on a good note, because if you burn the bridge, chances are sometime down the future you're going to work for another chef that another chef has worked for, that you might have worked for, and then they might have known that you worked for them, or they might look at your resume and they'll say, oh, you worked at Joe Bob's Garage. Well, you know what? I just happen to know the chef of Joe Bob's Garage, Chef Tony. So, what happened over there, you know? And then, like, things like that will happen in the culinary world. It's very close. And chefs talk. We trade war stories. You know, so, like, it is wise, if you were to leave a job in good terms, please. Don't just be like, oh, well, fuck this chef, fuck this restaurant, I'm out. They're not going to get through service without me. I'm the fucking grill guy. They're not going to get through it. I'll tell you what, Mr. Grill Guy who thinks you're God's gift of fucking grilling, the restaurant is going to go on. It's going to go on. It's going to go on without you. Service is going to go through. Yeah, it might suck. Yeah, ticket times might be a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, the restaurant is the restaurant, and it's going to run. And, you know, that goes to another segment, if you will, about cooks being like, oh, well, exactly what I said. Oh, you can't do this without me. I fucking hold down the pasta station. You don't know fucking about me. You'll be in shit. No, Like, the restaurant, it's gonna go through. Like, you are a cook. Like, yeah, it runs smooth when you're on the Garmo station or the pasta station, but you know what? At the end of the day, you're just a pasta cook, bro. We're gonna get through it without you. So, like, it doesn't matter. You're not God's gift to the kitchen. It's gonna run. It's gonna run. So, I don't know. It's a whole nother podcast about cooks and arrogant cooks and cooks that think that essentially the kitchen is isn't gonna run without them, because as soon as you start getting that mentality, then you're a fucking hack cook and you should need to get out of the kitchen. I mean, that's my opinion, and I've seen it, and I've been in kitchens where, you know, cooks are like that, and it's just like, you know what, dude, like, who are you? Really, go. You're a cancer. You're a cancer in the kitchen, just like in season 1, talking about cancerous cooks. Get out of here. So, like, don't quit on bad terms. So, a couple times I've had some people in some of these bigger, larger venues that I've worked in. So, I've had people quit, okay? Quit, bad terms, not showing up, walking off the job, getting terminated for something stupid, and then a year later try to apply for a different department within this bigger corporation or a different site or a different place within that corporation or whatever. And I'm sorry, but in these bigger corporations, it's very corporate. So if you got terminated from this property, you probably are not allowed to work on this property, even though you think that you should be able to, but you burned your bridge. You burned it. Now, you didn't show up for your shift, and now you're not going to be able to work for this company ever again. I'm sorry. So like, things like that happen. There's different forms like that you can burn, like in like friendships or like in like cooking with somebody, because every single day I go to war with you. We go to war together. You are my guy. You are my line cook. You are my right hand man. If we're tag teaming the grill station, and then all of a sudden I find out that you're fucking my girlfriend, yeah, that friendship is kind of burnt. I will still be polite and cordial to you during the work environment, but at the end of the day, you're a bag of shit. Bye, Felicia. So, like, that's like another bridge that you could burn. Like, your cooking co-buddy, like your teammate, your fellow pirate, like, you decided to do something and you screwed him over, you stole some money from him or something or whatever. That's that. Like, why? So then, like, let's say another thing is like a bridge, or maybe it's like sabotage, if you will. Like, I trust you. I trust that me and you are working on a team together. We are a team. One band, one sound. I ask you to watch my soup, and maybe you don't even watch it. Or maybe I think you're on my team, but actually you're secretly trying to sabotage me, and you crank it all up, and you burn my soup, and then you go, and then like later on, you're like, hey, chef, Tony, he burnt the soup. Like, he wasn't watching it, man. Like, and if the chef seen that, or if this guy says that to the chef, then if the chef's a good chef, the chef's going to come back and be like, well, why didn't you watch the soup for him? And then if you come back like, well, it was his job and this, that, and the other, well, then the chefs probably know that you're a bag of shit because you weren't helping out the team. That's like, you burnt that friendship, that trust bridge. I trusted you to watch my soup while maybe I went and organized walk-in so we can get out of here early enough so we can go hit up last call at the bar, and I might even buy you a drink. But no, you just threw me under the bus. Like, like, what is that? Um, there's another thing, like what goes up, like what must come down, things like that. Now, I've worked for people, and I've worked for lots of people, lots of chefs, and worked with people and stuff like that. So, like, if you are kind of shitty to me while we work together at a different establishment, like, why, if you quit that establishment and I go to another establishment, and then like later on down the line, 2 years later, like you try to come into the establishment that I'm working at, and people look at the resumes and see that you guys worked together before, but you were a bag of shit chef to me, like why am I going to give you a good reference? Like why? You burnt that professional bridge because you were just an arrogant chef, or you were just a dick to me, or like whatever. Yes, I can be a dick, and yes, this is how it is. But like it's justifiable, and I feel that all of my actions are sound. They are sound in my decisions. I am very critical of how I think about things and how I present myself. And these podcasts are pretty controversial, but this is how it is. It's chef life, man, and it's like you fucked me over in this job. You burnt it. You tossed it. You tossed the match. Why am I going to help you out later on down the line and put my name on you when you fucked me? Not gonna happen. I'm sorry, bro. Sorry. But like that's never happened, but like I'm just saying that's a scenario that could happen. And that's like something that you don't want to do. I had a very talented cook work for me, and she wouldn't do a simple thing like dye her hair, okay, to keep the job. The job said, no pink hair. Okay, you decided to get froggy one day and you decided to dye your hair pink. Yeah, you might have got away with it for like a week because you had your hat on all day. Which is fine. You were being slick about it. But then one day, you messed up and you came in and I saw you had pink hair. Hey, let's dye your hair the correct color. Oh, well this hair makes me. This is who I am. This makes me. This doesn't affect my cooking. Just dye your hair, man. Just dye it. Dye it a natural color. When you own your own fucking restaurant, you can have pink hair. That's that. But this is where we're at, and this is the situation. When I became a chef, it was, hey, you are not allowed to wear earrings or your facial jewelry or whatever. So I took out my eyebrow rings, I took out my earrings, I closed up my gauges, and that was the end of that. Because that's what was asked for me to do. And if I do decide to open up my own place, and if I do want to put my gauges back in and whatever, I'll do it. But that's not until, it's mine. So, this girl did this, asked her to dye her hair pink. She got an attitude with me. Then it became a big deal. Then HR had to get involved. And then, that's that. She gets asked to go home. She gets an attitude. Goes on social media. Talks shit about everybody. That bridge was burnt. Burnt. Sorry, you can never work for this corporation ever again for your actions that you just took. And you don't think about this. You don't think about this, when it happens. A bridge that I kind of burnt when I was younger, and I've mentioned this in my other podcast. I worked for a chef, Alex Garza. He was a very talented young chef, and I aspire to be him. all of the chefs that I've ever worked for, except for 2. Well, I guess I've still learned from them because I learned what not to do. So, but like all of them I've drawn of what kind of chef I want to be from them. Okay, that's just networking and moving your way up. So this chef, Alex, if that's his name, he was a young chef and he inspired me. He took a chance with me. He took me under his wing. It was very, 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 very good. And I let him down. I messed up. So at that time, I was living in Dearborn, working in Dearborn at the Henry Ford Museum. Just kicking ass, seeing what it is to actually be like a banquet cook in the catering department, not just a line cook, like creating like these massive meals for mass quantities of people and like actually embracing cooking. I had this awesome chef who's taking me under his wing. I'm learning stuff from him every single day. It's great, but I fucked him. I did, and it sucked, and it sucked so bad that like when that happened, I'm like young, arrogant, all these cooks that I talk about, that young, arrogant cook, that guy who thinks he knows everything and all that, like that shit was me. Like I was that fucking punk, but now looking back on it, like I was an idiot and I was that fucking punk. So like I feel that's why like I can tell some of these stories, because like I was that guy and now I'm not really that guy, but I can see it. I can fucking see it. So I was that punk, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I got points. I was that union guy. Yeah, I got points, I'm good. I'll be alright. And I calculated my stuff up, and I'm like, whatever. I'm at the bar with this hot girl. I think Leah was her name. Yeah. And it was great, like, it's fine. We're doing shots at that time. It was like right when Jaeger bombs were like super, super big, so like, yeah, do some Jaeger bombs. We're at Howell's, me and Leah doing Jaeger bombs at Howell's, like whatever. And then, don't you have to work tomorrow morning? She says, whatever. So I continue to get wasted, go back to the house, whatever. End up staying up till 4 or 5 in the morning. Gotta be back at 9 a.m. I totally sleep through it. I missed that shift, and I called in about like, I think it was like noon or something, 1, something, it was 2 maybe. Called Chef Alex. Chef Alex said basically, just to let you know, you've reached your points. I've told the story a million times before. You met your points. Unfortunately, like I had to let you go. I like you as a person, but I'm not gonna have you ever work for me ever again unless you get your shit together. You're a good cook, but you gotta get your shit together. I don't know what you're doing. You can use me as a reference, but you will never work for me unless you have your shit together. And like that stuck with me, and that was like a bridge that I burnt. Like I burnt it, but it was kind of not burnt all the way, I guess. I think that he saw in me that I had potential. So he kind of just singed it a little bit. Said, hey, you can't use me as, you can't work for me, but you can use me as a reference. So that was kind of like a good bridge that I kind of burnt, but not really good. So it was kind of like, but years later, ended up talking to that chef, and he actually ended up like hiring me, and it was good. And like it was like, hey chef, every couple years, hey chef, just let you know I'm doing this. Hey chef, just let you know I'm doing that. Hey chef, like I'm trying to rebuild that. So I guess if you burn a bridge, you can kind of rebuild it if you take the necessary steps. But if you just throw a match on it and let it burn, I don't know. Me, potentially, with some of these podcasts that I'm doing. You know, like maybe that could probably piss somebody off. But at the end of the day, this is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. And I've seen things that happen over the course of these years. And some of the names that I throw out there, I'm not talking about a certain person or like whatever. It's just experiences and just a general concept or an idea of what it is and how people are just fucking idiots sometimes. And it just like makes me upset. I feel that I do have the right to make these opinions and voice them on my social media if I will. Obviously, season 2 is a little bit more PG-13, so I'm probably not going to go on all my socials, but it's still going to be out there. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. But, like, the thing is that, like, try not to burn these bridges because, like, in the culinary world, especially in the Detroit area, it goes around. And a chef might call me up, like I said, and say, hey, did this guy used to work for you or this, that, and the other? Like, would you hire him back? You know, you can't say anything bad, but, I mean, if you left on good terms, yes, I would hire him back. Yes, I would. But if you screwed me and thought the kitchen would not get along without you, then sorry, bro. Like, yeah, nope. I would not hire him at all. Hang up. So, I mean, that's that. Once again, I am Tony Making Food Mata. That was little Tony talk of burning bridges. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, put on your wall, put on your Facebook, put on your MySpace, Modified Cooking, MATTAFIED, cooking. Google search that stuff. Drop me an email, modifiedcooking@gmail.com if you have any cooking questions. Yeah, donate some money for season 3 at TMFM1000, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. Thank you for tuning in. As always, it's been a pleasure for you listening to me. And this is Tony Making Food Mata, and that was Tony Talk, a modified view on burning bridges. Thank you. Have a good night.